Who knows Karma? Yay, Karma Hunter. Karma is always here to support. We love Karma. She does great things in Southern Nevada, and she's agreed to talk about AI and marketing tonight. So Karma, why don't you come and introduce yourself, and I'll get your little logo up on the screen.
Thank you. No pressure, right? Hi, everyone. Well, some of you know me. Some of you don't. Karma Hunter. I am an AI consultant and a marketing strategist. I own Karma DNA, which is an AI automation and digital marketing agency. And now we do have amazing developers, and we are actually starting to develop software. So this is my first time I'm announcing this. So if you have any software needs, if you're developing AI, we can help with that too. Some of you may know me from SBDC. I'm also a business development advisor at Nevada SBDC at the UNLV's Office of Economic Development. And some of you are my clients, and all of you can become our clients there. So today, I wanted to talk about go-to-market strategy. And please forgive me, this is my second event today. I'm in the same clothes for 12 hours now. So my mind is kind of busy, and that's why I have my phone and my notes with me. But sometimes we don't even know that we have a problem or what we need. And that's where startups go wrong. So you may have a great solution, but if they don't understand the problem or how you're solving that problem, then you're not in the business of solution, you're in the business of confusion. And I always say confusion is the biggest conversion killer. So let me take you to my living room and give you an example from my husband. My husband has a pill tracker app. So every afternoon, it goes ding, and he knows he gotta take his pill. And then, he hits the notification, he goes, takes his pill, and then a couple of hours later, did I take my pill? Then he goes to the camera footage in the living room, rewinds the camera footage in the living room, and watches to see if he took his pill. And then he says, well, why do I have this app? I can just set up my alarm, right? Because he doesn't even know if he took the pill or not. All right, I'm going to get back to this in a little bit. But this is the reason why a lot of startups are going wrong, because we can't really explain how we're solving the problem. And if they don't understand how we're solving their problem, then they're going to jump off the app, right? And the 90% churn rate is about 30 to 35%, meaning one person out of the 3 people that signs up for your app, your platform, whatever it is, they leave without even really getting the setup, right? 1 out of 3 doesn't even set up because they don't understand what they need to do, and you lose those customers. And that's why it's so important that product marketing is the biggest missing link in the go-to-market strategy. A lot of the founders think that once they launch and once they have some users on the app, it's all good, we're in business, and we're done. Not really, because the users on the platform doesn't really measure the success of your product, but actually if they're using the platform, that's how you can measure the success of your platform. So you got to make them actually use it. And people don't see the ROI, people don't see how they can use the platform. These are important things. So, and another thing that, I need to go back. Another thing that we need to give them ROI, right? If they don't see the ROI, then they won't know and they will leave. So go-to-market strategy is not just about acquisition. It's also about activation. It's also about education, and also about expansion. So these are important things, and I'm going to give you a couple of examples from these. I've been in marketing and tech over 2 decades now, and I wore a lot of hats. I've been a general manager. I've been a chief marketing officer, head of customer success for billion-dollar companies. But I also been a chief marketing officer and director of demand generation for startups as well. And what I love the most is the startups, because the impact is bigger, right? In a billion-dollar company, nobody knows what you're doing or what kind of impact you make. But in a startup, it's so much bigger. So one of the startups I was director of demand generation for, it was a product, it was a digital guidebook for short-term rentals. And the difference was that all the other digital guidebooks were just apps, so people could use these on their phone. But we also had a hardware component to it. You can actually have this almost like a digital billboard inside of your unit. So without using the app, people can learn about how to use the dishwasher in the rental, where the best restaurants are around town, right? Those type of things. They can do their check-in, check-out. They can extend their stay. All of those things that they can do. So our differentiation was that it's a digital billboard and it's all in your face right there, right? And when I got on board, the value propositions were save time, sell more, automate repetitive tasks. What's wrong with that? Anybody?
Pretty generic.
Yes, right? Very generic. Everybody can say that. Do you even know what I do when I say that? Right? So when I looked first as a demand gen person, I need to go and look what is the low-hanging fruit, right? How can I generate demand with the people we already have? So the accounts we already had, we had some property management companies who had our product. We knew that they had hundreds of units, but they only had maybe 5, 10 of our products. And I was thinking, why wouldn't they expand? Why wouldn't they buy more, right? And then when I looked at the lead list, their email list, there was thousands of emails, and they were all quality leads. They were all short-term rental, either owners or property managers, and crickets. So of course, as I come from the direct response copywriting background, so as the copywriter, I need to go back and check the messaging and the content strategy. And I realized, and of course also the user behavior, I realized they don't know how to use the product. And especially, they don't know how to use the sell more feature, right? And that's how we're selling the product, saying you're going to get an ROI, you're going to sell more, you're going to make more money because you can sell services on this product, we're saying. But if they don't know how to use it or how to sell those products, they won't expand. All they were doing was selling maybe late checkout, $70, $100, something like that. Our subscription is $39.99 a month. So, okay, you're getting, if you sell one late checkout a month, you're getting ROI, but is that really worth it for a big company like that, right? You still gotta work on the setup and all of these things, so it's a lot of work. So they feel like, is this enough ROI? Now, if people don't know how to actually use the product, how to use the features of the product, or how to use certain strategies with that product, then of course they won't get the ROI. So what did I do? I met with the product owner and the customer success director, and we did a webinar only for the clients, the current clients that we had. And in this webinar, we showed them exactly how the sell more features worked. because we had so many different features than those apps. Also, we kind of got creative because they didn't even know what to sell. They knew they could sell late checkout. They knew they could maybe extend stay. They could sell day of cleaning, you know, generic things, but they couldn't get creative. So they don't even know their problem at that point, right? All they think is, this is all I can sell, and it doesn't sell. But we had to give them some tools. We had to show them what else they can sell on that platform and how they can sell those things with the strategies and the tactics and all of that. We showed them how they can get ad revenue, how they can build partnerships with other businesses in town. We showed them how they can actually use it as almost a brand activation and all of these things. And what happened? After the webinar, I also sent the webinar recording to the lead list, the email list that we had. Within 2 weeks, we made $54,000 in ARR from a $39.99 product. Huge difference, right? We had so many clients expand their accounts, and so many of the leads actually become a client now just because they learned about these features and what is possible for them. And now that they can actually get ROI, now they can actually generate additional revenue, right? So that was huge. That was like a breakthrough. And then, of course, I had to change the entire messaging, positioning, and content strategy. And of course, in the content strategy, we have to have those things, right? We have to show those features and how we can use those features, even before they become a client or a lead. Because sometimes, I am one of the examples, sometimes I'll see a platform, just one single feature that is going to really make a difference in my life, and I'll subscribe for it. You don't have to tell me everything you do in the platform. That one feature may be actually worth it for me to sign up for it, right? As long as it really solves my problem. But I got to understand that it's solving my problem. So that's why I always say confusion is conversion killer, right? Now, what does this have to do with my husband and my husband's pills? If you were here last month, we had Karami Olson. She's the founder of Pillula Pod. It's a pill tracker pod, and she asked us for help with her go-to-market strategy last month. So when I looked at her go-to-market strategy, one of the things she was doing right, which I always encourage you to do, is to give something free, freemium, right? And she was giving a free trial to her pill tracker app, right? You don't even have to buy the pod itself. You can get a free trial on the app, and you can go ahead and use the app so that we can nurture you, right, afterwards, and hopefully you become a client now that you know how this works. But when I looked at her messaging, I realized what she was saying. By the way, thanks to her, she allowed me to talk about her. Unfortunately, she couldn't make it here because she had another event. When I looked at her messaging, I saw that she was talking about how sleek the design was, it was user-friendly, and it could help you track your apps. Track your pills. Now, if I told my husband about this app, right, a person like my husband, he's going to say, I have an app like that, but I still got to go look at the recording, right? So we're not going to be able to sell that app to my husband or people like him. Or somebody else who never even used the tracker app may say, I have my phone, I'm just setting my reminders, right? So I met with Karami and we talked about this. And I asked her, what is the app actually doing? Tell us, right? So she told me about a lot of different features. She has some check marks, some family reporting, some type of community support. There are things that actually helps you see if you took the pill or not. And it's actually tracking it. And there's backup processes for that, so that you're making sure that you are consistent with taking your pills. So now this is important, because now I can tell my husband, hey, go ahead and try this out. Because you know what? You won't have to watch the recording. You're actually going to be able to track it. Right? But I had to explain what it is. Or she had to explain it to me about what the app actually does. But it wasn't in her content. It wasn't in her messaging. So we talked about this, and she's working on the messaging and the content strategy. But this is very important, that yes, we are talking about our value propositions. Yes, we know our product is solving a problem, and it has to. But if they don't even know about their problem, if they don't understand what problem you solve and how you solve that problem, they're not going to come to you. And even if they do, they're not going to use that platform. Unless they're like a tech nerd like me, or some of you probably, get on a platform and without even looking at how to use guide, right? I just go in there and start playing with it and try to self-teach myself. But not everybody is like me, right? Not everybody is going to do that. So that's why we got to explain them. What are they actually getting? And I always talk about clarity. Talk like you're human. Speak clearly. Don't try to be clever with your words in your marketing. Clever drives confusion. Clear drives conversion. So think of it this way. If you can explain what you're doing or what your app or what your product does to a 9-year-old, that's good copy right there, right? Sometimes I help a lot of tech founders, and I meet with them and I ask them, what does it do? And they start telling me, right? And we're all so excited, of course. Like, our product is great, our solution is great, we already know. And they start telling me, oh, it does this, all of these technical words and everything. Now, okay, I understand because I'm in the field, but would somebody else understand it, right? So I always tell them, simplify it. What does that mean? Would someone who doesn't know about what you do understand that? Would they know those words? Just like streamline your operations. Most of these SaaS platforms are telling us they help us streamline our operations. What part of my operation? Which task exactly? How am I streamlining it, right? Everybody is promising streamlining. Everybody's promising saving time. Everybody's promising making money. But how? What is the difference of that feature? How are you using it? Give them maybe systematize them for them, right? Give them a system, build a habit for them. Show them how to use those things. And it's important that you are, again, clear with it, but also you got to give them a freemium, but the freemium got to turn into a funnel. You got to have a funnel behind your freemium so that you can actually nurture those people who are on the platform, and you can keep showing them how to use it. And I always look at customer success as a part of your marketing, because customer success department is going to have to educate the clients even after the acquisition, right? So that they can keep those clients, so that they can expand those clients. So maybe they can get those clients to actually refer you other people, right? So product marketing, your messaging, your clarity. Think of it, when you are saying, when you're giving your messaging, when you're doing your content, think of it as someone who never heard of your product, your solution. Would you understand what it's actually doing? So that's the most important thing. And that's the missing link in a lot of the go-to-market strategies that I look at. And if you need me to give you some advice, I can always look at your go-to-market strategy. We can do a free consultation. And here's my LinkedIn and my email address, and you can go ahead and send me an email or DM me anytime. Okay. Questions?
No questions? Come on. Oops. That one didn't like me.
That was very reactive.
So, somebody has to have a question about marketing, because we don't know it all. No? Well, if you have a question, just feel uncomfortable asking it in front of everybody else. Please connect with Karma after. She's amazing. She does a lot of great things in the community. She's really helping to move some founders forward. I know she's done work with people that I know personally, so thank you, Karma. And everybody, thank you, Karma Hunter, for giving your question. Oh, we have a question! Great! What's your question, sir?
So what value are you guys looking for your company? Like, what do you guys need to add to kind of grow your success for your company?
We just expanded. So right now we are working on onboarding, some of the compliance, patenting. We have some things that we are working on, patents. But yeah, we just expanded, so really working on that right now.
Expanding as in like
Our business. As in, like I said, we brought in more developers. Now we're building software. We have some inventions and we're going to be patenting those, and yeah, so working on a lot of compliance and onboarding. Thank you for asking.
What do you do? Okay, so we'll take that question.
go there right now.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, up in the back.
What's the #1 marketing mistake you see small businesses make?
Great question.
Very good question. I would say there's so many, of course, but I would say your audience segmentation, right? Your client profiles, knowing your ideal client and understanding that ideal client profile and speaking their language. Yes.
I know you like specialize in like LinkedIn as well. Just going to that whole strategy, like, can you give us any like tips on like LinkedIn strategies or anything?
Sure. I mean, just on a high level, LinkedIn is more of an outreach platform, as you know. What we do in my business, we do have a LinkedIn automation platform, and that's the only LinkedIn approved automation platform, so we're very proud of it, because sometimes when you use LinkedIn automation on LinkedIn, you get your account suspended because LinkedIn doesn't like those. So. Yes, but ours is on Azure, which is Microsoft. LinkedIn is by Microsoft, so it is approved by LinkedIn, and also when you set your categories to send out the DMs, it knows the percentage of the replies, and it only replies to people who are likely to reply 85% and over. So we know that we're going to get about 70% of the people that we send messages are going to be replying, which makes a huge difference. But I had a question yesterday from a client saying that they just started outreach, and he gave outreach to his assistant, and he looked at her message and he didn't like it because it was too short. And I said, it needs to be short. Your first message on LinkedIn needs to be very short, because your first message is for you to get a reply. You don't want to pitch, you don't want to talk about your company, you don't want to go, oh, this is what we do, here's what we do, and this is what we do, and how we solve your problem. Nobody cares. Nobody reads those. So give them 1 or 2 sentences just to get a reply so that you can keep the conversation going. That's when you can start introducing yourself and what you do and things like that.
Make sure you automate it.
What is it?
Make sure you automate that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we automate, we already have this strategy out there, so, and we can test it as well, A/B test it. Yeah.
So what is you guys' process of acquiring more clients? Like, how are you guys marketing, or how are you guys reaching out to acquire more?
Good question. Referrals and outreach, mostly.
And then what's the outreach? Is it like on social media, like Instagram, Facebook, ads?
Used to be, but now we do, since we do mostly service-based, business-to-business, service-based businesses and tech startups and such, we do mostly outreach on either LinkedIn or email or cold call.
Do you guys have a sales team?
Person.
We build it. Okay.
Yes.
Any questions?
Any other questions?
I just want to echo what you were saying earlier about keeping your messages in human language. It is like the #1 thing that I clean up for my clients when I work with them on their website copy or whatever. Like I'll read through it. Having trouble with conversions or whatever. I'm like, you're not speaking to anyone. You're speaking around someone or over someone. And
Yes.
It's so much. You put it. Make a bulleted list. Say it like you're speaking to someone with an 8th grade reading level.
Yeah, and great point. And that's why I always say, and this is going to answer your question also, again, you need to speak to people before you launch. Like literally you need to speak to people, not only doing market research online or through a company or something like that, but speak to your ideal client and speak to at least 100 people. I'm sure you heard of that before, but that's not for just, oh, this is step 1, this is step 2. There's a reason for that, because when you're speaking to them, you got to really take notes of what they're saying as it's coming out of their mouth, right? The phrases they're using. How are they verbalizing their problems? Because the way you're describing is completely different. We think we know, right? But the way they're speaking about their own pain points is completely different. They're using different words. They're using different phrases. So take notes of that. One of the things that I do a lot, well, I used to do a lot as a demand generation director, I was literally in between the sales department and marketing department and keeping them together in a way, because I would listen to sales department's calls and even help them with their copy, because first I would take the client's language from sales calls and apply it to our marketing, but also I was able to listen to the sales reps, how they are pitching, and I was able to help with that as well. But it was huge listening to those calls, because we're able to actually build the messaging, rebuild the messaging. And with that company, actually, we made 0 to 2 million in less than 2 years without any advertising, any paid advertising.
Wow.
So yeah,
You guys can
it was
talk to
great.
Karma.
Yep.
Karma delivers results.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karma.
Thank you.